All right, today we're diving into something really cool, Arreqqana. It's a language built not just for communication, but for actual power. We're going to see how just a handful of carefully chosen words can build an entire world, define a person's soul, and yeah, literally change reality. Just listen to this for a second. La soga no fiel ni visgajaja. Nadorek. Forget what it means for a moment. Just feel that. The rhythm, the sound. It feels ancient, right? Powerful. Maybe a little dangerous? That one phrase is central to a whole world of magic. And trust me, by the time we're done here, you'll feel the full weight of it. So, this is the core question, isn't it? We usually think of language as a tool for talking, for connecting with people. But what if it was more? What if speaking certain words in just the right way could actually warp reality around you? What if your entire identity was baked right into the grammar, and your voice could become a literal shield or a sword? To really get this, we need to meet someone. This is Yavvenna Kasura. Think of her as our guide into this amazing world of Arreqqana. Everything about her, her story, her struggles, her incredible power, it's all tangled up in the words she speaks. So yeah, to understand her, you gotta understand her language first. So Zalea is not your typical high school kid. Not even close. She comes from this place on the East Moon that's been just torn apart by war. She was orphaned, raised in this sacred community, and her entire life has been about two things: survival and this fierce, burning need to protect her older sister, Maven. That drive to be a shield, it's everything. It's the core of who she is. So how does that protective fire actually show up in her world? Well, it all starts with the language itself. See, Arreqqana isn't just one single language. Nope. It's split into two dialects that are like two different souls, two completely different ways of seeing the world and yourself. You've got the coastal dialect, and then you've got the sacred dialect. And get this. Just look at how a simple introduction tells you everything. In the friendly, everyday coastal dialect, you'd say, "I am worthy." It's about confidence you've earned, right? But in the sacred dialect, it's "I am sacred." That is a whole different ballgame. It's not about earning anything. It's about an innate, unshakable, "I was born this way" kind of power. And this difference, it pops up everywhere, especially when it comes to setting boundaries. A coastal speaker might say, "No, I don't allow that. It's personal, right? It's about me." But a sacred speaker, they say, "No, I uphold the sacred limit." See the difference? They're not just saying no for themselves. They're invoking a universal cosmic law. One is a personal line in the sand. The other is a frickin' force of nature. So what this is really showing us is that Arreqqana is so much more than just a way to talk. It's a whole spiritual framework. The words you pick don't just describe your world. They actively shape it. They define what you believe, who you are. They even define your soul. Okay, let's dive even deeper. Check out this concept from their dream interpretation, the Kirin Vuva. It translates to the sheltered flame. And this is way more than just, potential. Think of it like a sacred living fire inside of you that just hasn't decided what it wants to be yet. It's the part of you that is pure, raw possibility, just waiting for you to give it a voice. And this is how they see personal struggle. And it is brilliant. So in their style of dream analysis, if you dream about a weak, coddled kid, it's not about your inner child. The interpretation is this: you mourn not the boy. You mourn the silence you wrapped around your light. Wow! The problem isn't what you failed to become. The real tragedy is that you didn't let that sheltered flame, that Kirin Vuva, speak. You silenced it. And this whole spiritual vibe is just baked into everyday life. I mean, a simple hello, Shi'Allah, is literally a wish for peace. A common blessing, Luna Kivre, means blessed moonlight. Every little thing, from saying hi to saying thanks, connects the normal, everyday stuff to the cosmic. Okay, so let's recap. We've got dialects that define your very soul. We've got a vocabulary that's dripping with spirituality. But what happens when all of that becomes literal power? Right. Let's get back to Jala, because we're about to see what happens when she stops simply speaking the words and starts commanding them. And boom, this is where it all pays off. Jala's words literally become actions. Look at this. She whispers about awakening her soul's thread, and actual starlight wraps around her fingers. She chants about her sacred identity, and her uniform dissolves into glowing threads of light. Then, and this is the best part, by shouting her full name, the ultimate "this is who I am" moment, she weaves that light into armor. Her words aren't describing the magic, they are the magic. She is literally reweaving reality with her voice.
So, what's the big secret here? How do you build a world that feels this real, this deep? It all starts with the words. Language isn't just some extra detail you sprinkle on top at the end. No way. It's the foundation. It's the bedrock that everything else is built on.
I mean, just look at Zala'ala's name again. It's not just a random collection of sounds. Zala'a means milk light that walks. That's her quiet, public self. Vanessa means moon-born spirit, which tells you she's an orphan raised in sacred care. Her whole origin story right there. And Kasara, shield flame, comes from her sister's title, defining her entire reason for being. It's not just a name, it's her entire biography packed into 3 words. Incredible.
And that right there, that's the blueprint for building an immersive world. Every single piece of a language, the vocabulary, the grammar, even just the sound of the words, is a tool. It's how you embed a culture's values, how you shape a person's identity. It's how you can pack someone's entire destiny into their name.
So that leaves us with one last big idea to chew on. Arreqqana shows us that language can be a literal blueprint for reality. And it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What hidden stories are tucked away inside the words we use every day? What truths about our own history, our own values, and who we are hiding right there in plain sight, just waiting for us to notice?